Alright, so intercourse is unfair. And when I say intercourse, you know exactly what I mean. Two people getting together, a man and a woman getting together, and wrestling, special wrestling. Anyways, when I say intercourse is unfair, I mean it's like really unfair through the sexes. Like for a start, let's start with men. Men, it's like our whole entire masculinity is determined by how much sex we get, alright? If a man can't get it, then something is wrong with him, apparently. Something is wrong with him. There's something, he's probably ugly, apparently, quote unquote, small down there, micro, if you know what I mean. Or his performance, or he's a virgin, he finishes too fast. You know, the list could go on about that. Let's just say, you know, even for the men that do successfully have intercourse, those men are expected to sleep around, have expected to been sleeping around a bunch of women. The thing is, a man having intercourse with a bunch of women isn't looked down upon in our current modern society. Why? Because, like I said, they think that that's masculine. Some dumbass thought a man having sex with multiple women determines his masculinity. Somebody. I know it had to be somebody in the Bible days. Somebody from Cain's line did that. Somebody from Cain's line decided to do that. And for the women, they're seen as, if they sleep around with a whole bunch of men, they're looked at as whores. Why? Because I don't get the idea of why would a woman decide sleeping around, getting all this quote unquote experience is something good. A woman getting experience doesn't benefit her, and it doesn't even benefit the man either. But a man getting experience, he's a man whore too. I'm not gonna put all the blame on women. He's a man whore too. But when a man gets a lot of sexual experience, he gets better at it. And then he know how to please all these women. It's not even about who can pleasure one person better. I'm gonna get to that. It's not about that. It's all about who carries the seed. There's a reason why society, it wasn't just made up by women now. I know women tend to prefer men with experience. They find virgin men problematic. I don't know why, but that's what it is. For that reason, women seem to want their back blown out the first time. I get you want to have a great time, but you're missing the whole one flesh part, the spiritual part. But anyways, getting past that, the only reason why men can get away with it, because we carry the seed. It doesn't matter. If there was an island full of men, if there is one island, there's billions of women, there's one man, that one man can impregnate all of those women, and then the earth is repopulated. If there was the opposite, one woman and a whole bunch of men, I feel so bad for that woman. I feel very bad for that woman. Not only because the competition with all those men, you know why I'm getting at this. I feel bad for her. And then on top of that, she getting constantly pregnant by all these different men every single 9 months. That's gonna kill her. Men, we carry the seed. We repopulate the earth. Women just replenish it. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Now, so that's why it's important for women not to sleep around, because not only are you getting spiritual STDs, the potential of you getting pregnant is also there. I know we have, women have reproductive rights, like Plan A, B, abortion, and all that other stuff. Okay, that's good and all. Not abortion. That's good and all, but you get the point. Life is being halted, okay? You're lucky, women, that you even have that. And as a last resort, you have abortion, which I don't highly recommend, because not only you're killing the baby physically, you're killing the baby spiritually as well. And now you have that burden on you now. That's something you have to deal with for your life. And you truly feel heartless about that, then so be it. That's between you and God. I won't go any further. I'm not saying you're going to hell. That's not how salvation works. It works specifically by Jesus. But I just recommend don't do abortion. But as far as the men, I'm going to hold men accountable too. Stop fucking all these women. Just because society says you can do this, and this is what determines your masculinity, and this is what determines on pleasing a woman, unfortunately, most women think that, doesn't mean that you are a better man. I don't know what asshole decided to do that. Now, as far as pleasure, this is the main reason why I wanted to make this video. Even if the woman, it's like sex is so unfair. Apparently, a man is expected to not moan during sex. He's not expected. Apparently, she's supposed to be moaning more than him. She's supposed to be pleasured more than him. He has to put all of his work, all his strength in pleasing her, and mostly her. While him, if he's quote unquote moaning like a little bitch, apparently, he's seen as a bitch, like I said. Which makes no sense. I don't get that. That's the part I don't like. Considering I'm a Christian, lukewarm, I'm just gonna be honest, I'm not 100%. Point being, because I'm a Christian and I want to do it the exact way God designed it, I don't think, to me, God designed sex supposed to be all hard and everything. All this role play, all this fast stuff. I was about to swear, but remember, I'm talking about God in this. All this fast stuff and all this kinky stuff, all these fetishes. I don't think that's what God originally intended for sex. When he said be fruitful and multiply, he said be fruitful, okay? Not sour. If you know what I'm saying. I'm using metaphors, okay? All this fast stuff, this pounding and junk, hardcore junk, I don't think that's what God originally intended. When he said be fruitful and multiply, I truly mean this is what I feel the design of sex is supposed to be according to God. A man and woman, they both virgins. Not necessarily young, but I feel like ideally young. Because I feel like Adam and Eve, they were in their 20s. Even though they were 0 years old, I still feel like they was around in their 20s when they were first made. Around in their 20s, they're young, married. God ordained them. Jesus is the leader of their marriage. They have Jesus, the husband and wife. The husband leads, and then, as God said, the bed is undefiled. They, do a bunch of foreplay, not because they want, because they want to, but not because they necessarily want to just give in to that, because that's just something both their biological design is doing. That's what I mean by that. Like, it's naturally speaking, like their biological, that part came fast because I went across the street, but they're spiritually, they're emotionally, they're there together. And then while they're doing all that foreplay, it makes the sex last longer. On top of that, not only he's all up in his emotions, and she's all up in her emotions, they're both feeling so emotionally connected. One flesh as God designed it. And then that's where the physical part comes into play. That's when the physical part comes into play. Now they're physically doing it. Even though she's a woman, and we know the nature of a woman when she loses her virginity, her stuff is being ripped inside. Obviously, because she's so turned on, about the foreplay, despite her being a virgin, and I don't know about him honestly, but I'm speaking in terms of after the fall of man. She's so turned on. She's so excited when he finally, inserts. She isn't in a lot of pain taking it her first time. And then he might be mind blown. Apparently, either two things happen. I think he finishes too quick, or he can't really get it up to begin with. So in a sense, even if he couldn't necessarily get it up, the emotional, spiritual connection is what keeping the fruitful, the beauty of sex going. So next thing you know, who knows why she's still excited, or whatever. Seeing her so excited and the beauty of her body, her natural body, I'll say it like that. He, get excited again down there. Now he's back up now. So now they're both physically and emotionally there, having a great time. Not saying they're doing a bunch of fast stuff. I know the nature of sex. Things will get raunchy. I know, even if they're both virgins, because they've both been waiting for each other for a long time. I'm only saying this in the way, assuming both partners, didn't engage in PMO. My mind is kind of in the 1900s, okay? Like the 1912s. I'm not going that far back. That's where my mind is at. The closest to what the Bible days specifically is the closest. I don't know about that one. The point is, I'm just trying to go back to the original design of God's sex. About the sex, what God created. That's what I think sex is supposed to be like. But unfortunately, because we are born in sin, we are idiots, flawed human beings, sex is super unfair now. Super unfair. The people expect the man to drive her crazy. She expects for him to drive him crazy, and he is expected to have all this experience, and he's expected not to really enjoy it more than her, quote unquote. She's supposed to be blown away, while he's not, apparently. It's like it's one-sided. I know, I just made this channel, and I know I definitely won't be getting monetized anytime soon. I'm a 9-year-old YouTuber. I know that from experience. YouTube not giving a crap. I like this new land over here. Anyways, the only reason I just think this video won't get demonetized. It will get demonetized at some point. I'm just saying, I really think intercourse is super unfair, and it's like I'm trying to find the word, but it's like lean towards women's wants. Sex is like there for like women's wants. And then on top of that, if a woman wants sex, she can get it. If a man wants it, he gotta work his ass off. I'm not saying it should be equal. What I'm saying is, I'm just saying it should have been the way God designed it to begin with. But That ain't happening anytime soon. I'm not gonna say I'm that guy, but people like me who desired to keep the Bible's design way of sex are super rare. Rare as ever. Super rare. I wish it was easier. But the thing is, because of hookup culture, which really screwed people, men, I'm not gonna even point no blames. It equally destroyed us. We are so screwed up. It's just so messed up. Really messed up. And then, the one thing I hate, I just really wish men said no to this. Took the lead as we're supposed to be. As God ordained us to. As men, we are the leaders. God put us in charge. And we failed at that. And because of that, there's a lot of unfair stuff going on in the world. My voice is out. And that's pretty much my point. It's unfair. Intercourse is unfair. Unfortunately, it's unfair. If people did act as, if humans / people act as we were in the Garden of Eden, as we were supposed to be, then God would start blessing us more. But people find enjoyment in sin. And I'm not going to pretend like I'm not any different. My dumbass, for an example, somewhat enjoys sin. And I hate myself so much for that. I'm not going to go into specific details of what sins I enjoyed. God forbid sexual sins. I don't enjoy PMO. If that's what you're wanting. I don't enjoy it. Even if I fail and choose it. I don't enjoy it. Swearing is probably like and a little bit of lying is probably one of the sins I find enjoyment in. Not life-altering lies, like joking lies. That's what I mean by it. And swearing. I'm not saying swearing is sin. I'm just saying it's not what God's designed. If we did everything God's designed, we would not be having all these problems. But that's life. We're in this situation, so we gotta... The least thing we can do as Christians is preach the gospel, preach the truth about Jesus' salvation. That's it. That's the best thing we can do. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Sex is unfair. Make it fair. Like, comment, subscribe.